Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Mears here, Daniel, your host. Welcome to the show. Just want to say thank you again. It is Black Friday, so I hope you're all staying safe, staying healthy, and not killing each other over stupid crap. Anyways, thank you for coming. Today we're going to cover The Mandalorian Chapter 13. I believe it's Episode 5 of 8. I think we have 3 episodes left, which is good. This is a good episode. As you know, spoiler review. There's a lot of spoilers, so if you don't want any spoilers, please like, share, and subscribe now. I will give you my full, what I thought about. I think this was about an 8 out of 10. Honestly, I think this episode was an 8 out of 10. They do a lot of improvements. They finally do a lot of things. They explain a lot of things. And finally, we get some answers. So thank you all. If you're going to leave now, please like, share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It helps build my channel. Share this out. It really helps me get my name out there. The further get shared and liked and so forth, as you know. So, how does this episode start out? It started out with Ahsoka. And technically it started out as like a gate, a big city gate. And you got these guys who are like covered in like gas masks and hoods and stuff, and they're running around the woods. And you see this one guy come up. He's like, my guess, he's like their commander. He seems like a military veteran, but he's also a mercenary type person. And so he runs up him, and then this lady shows up, and she's holding a spear. And she is the magistrate. Very bad one, is my guess. Pretty much, you see her say, they're like, the Jedi's out there, and she says, okay, and they're sending out the troops. Troops are getting in combat, but they're getting taken out one by Ahsoka. It turns out who is the Jedi is Ahsoka, and she keeps, she's using the fog. She comes out, she lights her lightsabers, kills a dude, takes him out, and disappears into the fog, which I thought was pretty clever, because Ahsoka has always been a pretty good fighter in the Clone Wars. She was really good. I know a lot of people don't like her, but she did a good job in this episode. I can't remember the name of the lady who plays her, but she's the voice actress who actually played Ahsoka, I believe. I may be wrong, but I believe it is her. And yeah, I believe so. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. And so she goes in and she takes out all the men, and she walks up to the gate, and she tells her, I want to know where your master is. Well, pretty much she wants to know some information. The lady tells her she'll never get it from her, and that what the people's lives mean to her, because if she doesn't leave, she'll keep killing the people, the citizens, one at a time, or 10, or 100. She doesn't give a shit about the people. But Ahsoka, as being a Jedi, should care. So he gives her 24 hours. Says, in 24 hours, I'll return. Either give me the information, or I'll end you. And she leaves. Disappears. Meanwhile, all of a sudden you go back to the Mando ship. Mando arrives. Comes down in the atmosphere. He touches down. And so he gets out. He takes a Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda, of course, he tells the Baby Yoda to get in his seat. Before they land, there's a scene where they're on the ship, and he tells the Baby Yoda, get in your seat. Baby Yoda just sits there, and he's like, come on, get back in your seat. So he does. He finally does, but he wants that ball. Like from the first season, and the ball that's on the thing, so he uses the Force to unscrew the ball and bring it to him. Mando realizes that after they get off the ship, because he's holding the ball, he's like, don't take that, and he puts it in a pocket, which is important for later. So he puts it in his pocket, gets the Baby Yoda, and they head out. And he decides to head to town to try to figure out some information about a Jedi woman. So he comes in. They let him in. He goes up to the city gates, and they say, what's your business? He says, I'm tracking someone. I've been hunting him for days. He's like, oh, you're a hunter. are you with the guild? He says, yeah, oh, last time I checked, but technically it's not. Well, he might still be now. I'm not sure. But, so they let him in the gate. And he starts asking some people, but everybody starts fleeing. And it seems like he can't actually talk to the people. He's not supposed to. So the guards come up, and they tell him that the magistrate wants to see him. So they lead him back to the inner city gates. He goes in, and he sees like this big house and this like garden. The city looks like trash, like third world country trash. He walks in, and the center is like beautiful gardens, trees, houses, this big bridge. And so Ahsoka goes, or not Ahsoka, I'm sorry, Mando goes in, and the magistrate chick is there, and she says, welcome, are you a Mandalorian? He says, yes, I am. And she says, I have a job for you, if you're interested. I have a Jedi problem. And he says, well, I cost a lot. And she says, well, Jedis are the ancient enemies of the Mandalore. So wouldn't that make this, make this a personal thing? He says, no. Something like that. And then she goes, what is your price? He goes, what would you give me to hunt this Jedi? She goes, Jedis aren't easy to kill. And she picks up the spear, and she hands it. She goes, I'll show you this. And she hands him the spear. It turns out the spear is 100% pure Beskar steel. And Beskar, if you don't know, can actually, not really block, but it has a properties that help protect it against lightsaber damage. It's not like it can like block it straight up, but it does be able to hold up against a lightsaber slash more than most things. It's the strongest steel in the universe, pretty much. So she says, if you kill the Jedi, I will give you the spear as a reward. He says, okay. Where can I find this Jedi? Well, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't agree to anything. He just says, where can I find the Jedi? And they give her coordinates to the woods. Why they know exactly where she could be found in the woods is that was a little weird to me. Because sorry for my dog, if you could hear him in the background. He's outside, but as you know, I'm in the garage. So, anyways, so he takes off. Him and the child. Stop calling him Baby Yoda because it's not Baby Yoda. He's a child. He finally gets to the place in the woods. He's looking around. He sets the child down. And he's looking, and he sees big animals in the distance. He goes, okay, that's not it. And then he gets attacked. He turns around, and Ahsoka attacks. Boom! And he freaking blocks it, and blocking it. And jumps back, pulls out his gun. She pulls out her swords. And he goes, wait, Ahsoka Tano. I've been sent by, what's her name from the other episode that I got totally wrong. By the way, one of the last episodes where I said that was the girl from Rebels. It wasn't. The chick from the Clone Wars. But anyways, the chick from the Clone Wars sent me. And she goes, oh? And he says, yes, I have something to talk about. We have something important to discuss. And she's like, well, if it's about that, I'll be interested. And she looks over at the child. So he walks over and he kind of tells her what's going on. And she does this thing where she sits down. A Jedi can communicate almost with thought. For some species, they can. And I think she named the species. I'll have to watch it again to really see if she did, because it almost sounded like she named the species Krogan. She actually called him by name. He actually has a name. His name is Krogan, I believe. Krogan, something like that. So the child had a name. And he's been trained by the Jedi before the Clone Wars. I guess during the Clone Wars he was being trained by different masters because he's a youngling. So he was actually being trained So there goes where he gets his force powers. So at least they explained how he can use the force. Sorry about that. My daughter wanted me. Anyways, so she's sitting there meditating. It looks like they're meditating, but they're like kind of communicating. And so she starts learning a little bit from him through force telepathy. Krogan explains that he was hidden away on a temple and then it was taken. Somebody captured him from that temple. My guess is it's Moff Gideon, and did things to him. Or might not have been Moff Gideon, but it was like a darker time. And then the Mando saved her. And she says that, that a lot of the Jedi's have been killed since the Clone Wars, blah, blah, blah. He tells her that she needs to take him and train him in the ways of the Force. She actually explains that she cannot. She says that he's grown too much of a bond with. But anyways, she tells him she can't train him because he's been trained before. Like, not because he's been trained before, but he's developed too much of a bond. There's too much anger in him because of his bond with the Mando and so on. And if she took him and trained him, it might not turn out bad, because she has seen what happens when a fully trained Jedi Master succumbs to his anger and hatred because of his bonds. And she's talking about Anakin. And he became Vader. So she tells him that she doesn't want to train him because she's worried that he will become that. He will be turned into the darkness. Which will actually kind of be interesting. I like to see a Darth fucking Kroger. Just saying. Like, it'd be kind of cool. Anyways, so Mando tells her that she knows that she needs help. That he's seen the inside of the city. He's seen what she's up against. And he knows that she can't stand against all the firepower. She needs help if she's going to save the citizens of the town. He says, if I help you free this town and capture the magistrate for you, will you agree to train the child? So she agrees, and he goes with her. And so he goes to fight. And it goes that night where she promised that she would show up again. She runs up to the city and says, they're here, sound the alarm. She jumps up the wall, kills all the dudes, cuts the alarm. One of the guys survives and runs off. And she jumps down into the city. The magistrate comes out with the rest of her forces. And she has a couple assassin droids from, I'm guessing, the Clone War period. Or I don't remember where, because they look different. But she says, you will tell me the information I want to know. And she says, kill them. And she's, so they all charge at her. And she runs into the city. And then she orders whoever's left to kill there's 2 guards left. She's going to kill the fucking people. And you go to the door and kill them, the families in their homes. And she turns around and goes back inside the inner city. Doors closed. Guy raises his rifle. The citizen guy's in the cage. It's like, no, don't kill me, please. And then all of a sudden, fucking the dude gets shot. And the other guy gets shot. Mando lands. They took both of them out. And this other guy, this older Asian dude comes out. He saw him before. And he has the Asian dude help take all the people down from the cages. Mando waits. And he just stands there. While the mercenary and his guys are getting taken out like a lot. Ahsoka's fucking devastating their guys. So it turns out the magistrate is actually the last of her people that were killed during the Clone Wars. My guess is she was on the side of the Emperor. She wasn't on the side of the rebellion. or not the Republic. She was on the side of the droid armies. This is my guess. So now she's part of the Empire. She's working under Moff Gideon to develop ships. She somehow has like power that helps, not power, but she has influence in like shipbuilding. So she helps build the Imperial fleet and made her very rich. And she's plundered world after world after world. This is why Ahsoka wants to capture her, because she also knows where Moff Gideon can be found. It's all building up to different people are coming after Moff Gideon. Anyway, she takes out most of the dudes. They have one of the droids climb up on the roof. She kills the other droid, and the mercenary runs. He gets away. He's trying to get back to the inner city. He sees Mando standing there. He goes, "Oh, so you're working with the Jedi." He realizes because Ahsoka lands behind him, and she jumps into the inner city. And he's like, "So you're working with the Jedi?" He's like, "Yeah, why not?" And he's like, "Well, who's going to win? My side or yours?" Ahsoka and the magistrate actually had this big old fight. I guess the chick was betrayed how to use the spear pretty well. So her Beskar spear stands up against the lightsabers. So they have this like pretty good fight scene between those two. She actually takes out one of Ahsoka's lightsabers, knocks into the water. Ahsoka uses her lightsaber. Finally, she takes the spear, finally knocks the spear out of her hands, puts the lightsaber to her throat, and tells her to give her the information. And then he goes back to the Mandalorian, him and that mercenary guy. He's like, "Oh, looks like your side won." So he puts his shotgun down. He's got like this weird looking shotgun blaster. So he's backing up, and he tries to go for his gun. Mando fucking blasts his fucking ass, because Mando's a lot faster fucking gunslinger than that guy. Fucking just lays him out. People are they're like, "Yeah," and then fucking the robot shows up above him. The little Asian dude's like, "Look out!" He turns around real quick and fucking blasts the thing straight through the face, blows its fucking head off. The fucking robot falls down dead, and he goes, "Oh, well, yeah, okay." Whole time, the child, or Kroger, we should say, or Krogan, something like that, is back at the ship. So, yeah, it was kind of interesting. I had a feeling he was going to get back and the child would be gone. So they come back. Ahsoka goes. She's holding the spear now, and she says, "This is yours." And he says, "I haven't earned it. You cannot give it to me. I haven't earned it yet. I didn't do the contract she was giving me. It would be dishonorable." Well, she says, "I know, but Beskar belongs in the hands of the Mandalorians." And so she convinces him to take it. And then he says, "Well, I'll go get the child. We'll be back. Stay here." He heads back to his ship, and he's saying goodbye to the child. He's like, "Hey," the child's sleeping in a hammock. He shakes it, says, "Hey, buddy, it's time to wake up. I guess it's time to say goodbye." And you can kind of feel that he doesn't really want to say goodbye. So he picks up the child and starts heading out the ship. Ahsoka arrives and says, "I can't train him. I can't do it." And he says, "But you promised." She says, "How would I tell you where you can go that will help find other Jedi?" So she tells him to go to Tython. There is a place there that is very strong in the Force that amplifies certain things. And if the child, or Krogan, whatever, uses the Force at that point, it'll send out a beacon for Force users. And if there's a Master Jedi still out there, they'll feel the beacon within the Force. They'll feel the Force, and they'll come to find the child. They'll seek him out. She says there's not many Jedi left, so she doesn't know if it'll actually work or not. And if this fails, that means the child was never meant to be a Jedi and should not be trained. So he thanks Ahsoka, agrees, and he goes on his way. My guess is this next episode is going to be his way of trying to get to Tython. I don't know. So he leaves. Ahsoka smiles, bows to Krogan. Krogan like kind of waves. She bows her head to him. Ship takes off. And Ahsoka turns and goes back to the city. So now we're at this point where we got to figure out what's going to happen next. What do I think will happen after this episode? This episode is really good. Really, really, really good. I really enjoyed the fight scenes. You know, Ahsoka being like kind of an assassin. She kind of goes in and out of the shadows, comes out, kills a dude, takes off. It was really well done. It really showed the strength of what... Because she's not really a Jedi. She was trained to be a Jedi, but she left the Jedi Order in Clone Wars. If you ever watched the Clone Wars, go do so. It's a great show. Rebels was okay, but not as good as the Clone Wars. In the Clone Wars, you really get to see Ahsoka really shine. At the end, at least. And now, you see what has become of her. She's not a Jedi anymore, so she doesn't hold on to all the Jedi philosophies that you once had. And she even there's a callback earlier to Yoda. She says she's only met one other of his kind that she knows of, and that was a great Master Yoda. And then Kroger kind of gives a sad look. So I'm wondering what's going to happen, because this is after the Empire fell. So Baby Yoda, or Yoda, I should say, Yoda has already passed away. So what is going to happen? I don't know. I had banked on that Ahsoka was going to take the child, and that what would happen was that Mando would go off with the other Mandalorians and some others to fight the Empire and to reclaim the sword to a Mandalore. Maybe he would become the new Mandalore. I don't know. Now, I don't know. I really don't. What can happen now is... You're going to have to come up with a new Jedi. It can't be Obi-Wan. I don't think it'd be Luke. But that's what I first guessed. It'd be Luke who senses Krogan and finds him and takes him back to the Jedi Temple. But then they would have to bring on actual... so I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. Because I really thought... Well, it might still be Ahsoka takes him. Because it might go into where... they attack the ship. The Empire takes the child, Krogan. So he has to go get Ahsoka, go get Ba-Ratan or whatever her name is, the Mandalorian chick and his friends, and then take on the Empire with the rebels. Maybe a rebel fleet will show up with them, and they'll fight. They'll recapture Krogan, and then maybe Ahsoka will finally take responsibility and take him, or not. I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting because I really thought, because they said they teased an Ahsoka show. I thought that was going to be a whole show where Ahsoka's training the child, teaching him as and they start growing the child up and make Ahsoka look older and older. So I don't know. I don't know where this show is really going to go. Right now, it's a little weird because I know the Empire is tracking him. So I was kind of expecting him to get back to the ship and the child had been gone. Or he got back to the ship saying goodbye. But what I thought was going to happen, this is what I thought was going to happen in this episode at the end, is he goes back to the ship, the child's there, he's saying his goodbyes, she comes back, and she's like a fucking Star Destroyer up here over the city and fucking starts shooting blast down at it. And it would be like, oh no, the Empire has found him, and they realize that the city fell, and one of his pupils is dead, so he destroys the city. Ahsoka is caught in a blast or something, and he has to flee. And so both Ahsoka and him get captured or something. I don't know. We're going to have to... Who knows? That's what I thought was going to happen, because it would kind of lead to the next episode. They're trying to flee the Empire. And Ahsoka, he not knowing Ahsoka's alive or dead. That would have been interesting. But this is how they ended it. So we'll have to figure out what's going to happen next. But thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Please, again, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you next time.